January 10th, 2015, from Gillette Stadium in Foxboro, Massachusetts. It was a division playoff round between the Baltimore Ravens and the New England Patriots, as the Ravens had won in the wild card round to advance to the division round to face the Patriots, who had a bye week in the first round of the playoffs. And the Patriots won the toss. They elected to defer, and so the Ravens would get the ball first. They had it on their own 29 after the opening kickoff. And on the first play of the game from scrimmage, Joe Flacco dropped back. He hit Steve Smith, and Steve Smith took it 19 yards for the first down at midfield at the Baltimore 48. Flacco then went to Gilmore. He picked up 9, and now it was 2nd and 1 on the New England 43. Forsett picked up a pair, and now it was a first down on the New England 41 for the Ravens. Joe Flacco then dropped back and hit Torrey Smith for a 22-yard reception, and it was now a first down in the red zone on the New England 19 for the Ravens. Flacco then dropped back and he hit Aiken for a 19-yard touchdown pass, and they actually went to check out and see if he actually had broken the plane, and they confirmed that he did. And so the Ravens put the first points on the scoreboard with the score Baltimore 7, New England 0. So now the Patriots would get the ball after the kickoff on their own 22. And on first down, Tom Brady went to Bolden. He picked up 11 yards and a first down at the 33. And Bolden had actually just re-signed with the Patriots during the last week, along with Patrick Chung. But after that, they wouldn't get another first down on this possession, as they would end up having a punt from their own 38 on 4th and 5. So now after the punt, the Ravens would take over on their own 21 with a little less than 11 minutes left in the first quarter. And on first down, Justin Forsett ran it 10 yards to the 31. Then on first down from the 31, Forsett ran it 12 yards all the way to the Baltimore 43. Then a penalty against the Patriots for offsides would make it a first down on the 48. Flacco then went to Jusic. He picked up just a yard. And on 2nd and 4 from the 49, Justin Forsett picked up 7 yards in the first down in New England territory at the 44. They're then faced with a 2nd and 8 from the 42, and Joe Flacco hit Steve Smith for a 16-yard reception. And it was now a first down on the New England 26. Then on 2nd and 9 from the 25, Flacco went to Brown. He picked up 13 yards in the first down in the red zone at the 12-yard line. They would then be faced with a 3rd and 7 a couple plays later from the 9. Out of the shotgun, Joe Flacco then went to Steve Smith, and he took it to the touchdown, 9 yards for the touchdown. And that was now Steve Smith's 1,000th career postseason receiving yards. So over 1,000 receiving yards in the postseason for the former Panther and now Raven. And now the score was Baltimore 14, New England 0. So now the Patriots would take over, trailing by 2 touchdowns with less than 5 minutes left in the first. They had on their own 22 after the kickoff. And an incomplete pass would bring up 2nd down. Blunt ran for a couple, and now it was 3rd and 8 from the 24. Out of the shotgun, Tom Brady hits Rob Gronkowski, and Gronk takes it 16 yards for the first down to the New England 40. And then Tom Brady drops back, and he goes back to Rob Gronkowski for a 46-yard reception. And it was now first down in the red zone at the Baltimore 14 for the Patriots. Brady then went to Julian Edelman. He picked up 13 yards in the first down that would make it 1st and goal on the 1. But they then lost some yards with a 3-yard run, negative run by Blunt, as he got pushed backwards. And then an incomplete pass would bring up 3rd and goal from the 4. And Tom Brady scrambles in for the touchdown with a 4-yard run. And it was now a 7-point game as the Patriots for their first points on the game with the score Baltimore 14, New England 7, and Brady actually tied Curtis Martin for the Patriots franchise record for rushing touchdowns in the postseason. So now they would kick off the ball. The Ravens would take over with less than a minute left in the first. They had on their own 25. And on 2nd and 10 from the 25, Forsett ran it 19 yards as he brought the first quarter to a close with a first down at the 44. And so after 1 quarter of play, the score was Baltimore 14, New England 7. So now to start off the second quarter, the Ravens had the ball on their own 44. It was 1st and 10. An incomplete pass, and then on the next play, a 4-yard run, but an unnecessary roughness call against the Ravens would push them backwards all the way back to their own 33 for 3rd and 21. and they were only able to pick up a couple of yards, and so on 4th and 19, they would end up punting from their own 35. So now the Patriots would take over after the punt with 14 minutes left before halftime, and on 1st down, Brady went to Brandon LaFell. He picked up 14 yards in the 1st down at the 38. Then out of the no-huddle in the shotgun, Tom Brady went to Julian Edelman. He picked up 12 yards in the 1st down at the 50. Still out of the no-huddle in the shotgun, Brady went to Shane Vereen. He dumped it off, and he picked up 14 yards. And so that was the 1st down at the Baltimore 36. Brady then went back to Vereen. He picked up 6. And then on 2nd and 4 from the 30, they handed it off to Vereen. He picked up another 6 yards, this time on the ground. And now it was a 1st down on the Baltimore 24. An incomplete pass would bring up 2nd down. Brady out of the shotgun, and he was sacked by Jernigan. So it was a 6-yard loss. And on 3rd and 16 from the 30, Brady was sacked by McPhee and Suggs. They dropped him for a 4-yard loss. And so now out would come the punting unit on 4th and 20. They actually took a delay of game. They had Gronkowski out there. He was going to maybe do like a pooch punt. But instead they elected to take the delay of game to push them back to 4th and 25 so they would punt from the 39. So they had a little extra room. But the Ravens would still manage to end up getting the ball out to the 25 as they got a little bit of return. And then the taunting penalty against the Patriots. So now it was going to be Baltimore 1st down on the 25, 9.5 left in the 2nd quarter. They picked up a 1st down with a 12-yard run by Forsett to bring it to the 37, but then their drive would stall as they ended up moving backwards as they actually lost some yards on 2nd down on a little screen pass that Hightower was there as he sniffed it out and dropped him for a 7-yard loss, Tresant. And so that was on 2nd down, and a couple plays later they ended up punting. So after 4 plays, they punted from their own 35 on 4th and 12. So now the Patriots would take over after the punt on their own 33 with just over 7 minutes left in the 1st half. And then an incomplete pass to bring up 2nd and 10. Brady went to Edelman. He picked up 11 yards. He actually fumbled the ball, but amazingly, Edelman was able to recover the fumble, although there was 3 Ravens right there on top of him, including C.J. Mosley, who forced the fumble, and Courtney Upshaw, who's also there. There's also another Raven. I'm not sure who that was, but it was 1st and 10 now at the New England 44. Blunt ran for a couple of yards, and then an incomplete pass will bring up 3rd and 8 from the 46. Brady went to Gronkowski, and he picked up 23 yards and a 1st down at the Baltimore 31. And Tom Brady, with that pass, actually took the record as he is now the NFL leading passer in the postseason with 6,595 career postseason passing yards. So that's a new NFL record. So now on 1st down and 31 on the 31, 1st down and 10 on the 31, Brady threw an incomplete pass, but an illegal contact against the Ravens would make it a 1st down on the 26. Then on 2nd and 10, Bolden picked up 4 yards, and on 3rd and 6, Brady hit Brandon LaFell, and LaFell was able to get the 1st down. There was an illegal contact on the play against the Ravens, but they declined it as LaFell had picked up the 1st down, and he managed to catch the ball even with the illegal contact. Then after a run for no gain on 1st and 10 from the 15, brought up 2nd down. Brady out of the shotgun, hit Danny Amendola, and Amendola sheds the tackle, and he skirts down the sideline and then dives for the end zone, and somehow Amendola was able to get it in and stay in bounds as it was a 15-yard touchdown, one of the best plays Amendola has made in a Patriots uniform, and the game was now tied up at 14 apiece between the Patriots and the Ravens. And another record is Tom Brady now ties Brett Favre for 2nd all-time in passing touchdowns in the postseason with 44, and he's actually just 1 away from tying Montana in 1st place, 2 away from taking the record and setting a new record as he already has in this game with career postseason passing yards. So records just falling down in this game. So now after the kickoff, the Ravens would take over on their own 28 with about 3.5 left before halftime, and they actually went 3 and out for the first time in this game, and they ended up punting from their own 37. Some clutch defense by the Patriots. So now the Patriots would take over on their own 28 after the punt with less than 2 minutes left before halftime. Brady went to Amendola, he picked up a pair. On 2nd and 8, he went back to Amendola, he picked up 7. Now it was 3rd and 1. And Bolden picked up the first down with a 3-yard run, and the Patriots took a timeout. It's now 1st and 10 on the 40. They got a false start. So now it's 1st and 15 from the 35 out of the shotgun. Brady dropped back, and he was intercepted by Darryl Smith. So Darryl Smith making a big play for the Ravens. And now the Ravens had the ball on their own 43 with just over a minute left before halftime. Flacco went to Owen Daniels. He picked up 8 yards, and then he went back to Owen Daniels. He picked up another 5 yards, and now it was first down in Patriots territory at the 44 after an incomplete pass, another incomplete pass, but they called pass interference against Revis, and the penalties have been flying against the Patriots, and they've pretty much been in favor of the Ravens all of the first half. But anyway, it was first down now on the 24 for the Ravens after the call. Flacco went to Brown, he picked up 5, and now on 2nd and 5 from the 19, Flacco went back to Brown, he picked up 8 yards, and the Ravens took their second timeout with just about 16 seconds left on the clock. It was now 1st and 10 from the 11. They didn't have any timeouts, so they had one timeout actually left. They elected to toss one up as they were going to wait and see what happened to kick a field goal potentially if they didn't get anything going the next play or two. But on 1st and 10 from the 11 out of the shotgun, Joe Flacco makes an amazing pass to Owen Daniels. The tight end catches it in traffic between 3 defenders. And the Ravens took back the lead now with the score Baltimore 21, New England 14. So they would kick off the ball and Brady would take a knee, and this game went to halftime. So now after one half of play, the score was Baltimore 21, New England 14. So now to begin the second half, the Patriots would get the ball first. They had it on their own 26 after the kickoff, and they would end up going 3 and out on their first possession of the second half. They ended up punting from their own 30. So now the Ravens would take over on their own 30 with about 14 minutes still left in the third. They then faced with a 2nd and 10 after Forsett got stopped for no gain on first down. And on 2nd and 10, Flacco dropped back to pass, and he hit Campanaro for a 14-yard reception. It was now a first down at the Baltimore 44. And then again, Forsett got stopped for no gain. And on 2nd and 10 from the 44, Flacco dropped back out of the shotgun, went back to Campanaro, this time for a 16-yard reception. It was now a first down on the New England 40-yard line. A pair of incomplete passes would bring up 3rd and 10. Flacco hit Marlon Brown. He picked up 4, but it wasn't enough for the first down. And so now it would be 4th and 6 on the New England 36. But instead of electing to go for what would have been a 53-yard field goal, they decided to go for it. They didn't pooch punt it either. They went for it. They lined up in the shotgun on 4th and 6 from the 36. Flacco dropped back, and he hit Torrey Smith for a 35-yard reception. There was a penalty, actually, a pass interference call against New England. It was declined, but then there was a penalty against Baltimore for taunting. And so instead of it being a first down on the 1-yard line, 1st and goal, it would end up being 1st and 10 on the 16. So they're in the red zone. Flacco now dropped back on first down, and he hit Forsett, and Forsett took it all the way, 16 yards for the touchdown. There was no one around him. All the receivers went to the left side. Forsett snuck out of the backfield on the right side. No defenders around, and was able to take the short pass all the way into the end zone for the 16-yard touchdown. And the Ravens extended their lead to 14 points with the score Baltimore 28, New England 14. So now New England would get the ball on their own 20 after the kickoff with about a little less than 10.5 minutes left in the third quarter. And after an incomplete pass on 2nd and 10 from the 20, Tom Brady out of the shotgun went to Brandon LaFell. He picked up 11 yards in the first down at the 31. Still out of the shotgun, Tom Brady now went to Humana Wanui. He picked up 16 yards in the first down at the New England 47. Brady then went to Gronkowski, still out of the shotgun. It was a 9-yard reception to bring the ball to the Baltimore 44, 2nd and 1. Then a penalty against the defense for having 12 men on the field as the Patriots had rushed up to the line. Brady actually picked up 4 yards on the play that they had snapped, but he caught the defender on the field, and so it was a 5-yard penalty, and now it would be a 1st and 10 on the Baltimore 39. Out of the shotgun, Tom Brady hits Julian Edelman, and Edelman takes it 11 yards for the first down at the 28. Brady went back to Edelman. He picked up 4 yards, and now it was 2nd and 6 at the 24. Brady then went to Humano Anui. He picked up 14 yards. And then there was an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against the Ravens. And so now it would be a 1st and goal on the 5. And after an incomplete pass brought up 2nd and goal from the 5, Brady out of the shotgun hits Rob Gronkowski for the 5-yard touchdown. As Gronk was kind of coming over on somewhat of a slant as he was off to the left side and came in. So now Brady, with that touchdown pass, ties Joe Montana for the most all-time postseason passing touchdowns with 45 in his postseason career. And so now that brought the game to within 7 points with the score Baltimore 28, New England 21. So now the Ravens would take over on their own 23 after the kickoff with a little less than 7 minutes still left in the third, and they went 3 and out. And so they would end up punting the ball from their own 22 as they end up losing a yard on the possession. Now the Patriots, after the punt, would take over on their own 30. There was about 5.5 left in the third. And on first down, Brady out of the shotgun went to Julian Edelman. He picked up 9 yards and made it 2nd and 1 from the 39. Out of the no huddle in the shotgun, Tom Brady then dumped it off to Shane Vereen. He took it 10 yards for the first down at the New England 49. And on first down from the 49, Brady threw a backwards pass to Julian Edelman over on the left side, and Edelman, who was a high school quarterback, tosses it up in the air, and Danny Amendola comes down with it, a beautiful pass, and he takes it into the end zone for the 51-yard touchdown to tie this game up at 28 apiece. So the trick play by the Patriots, and it was the first career pass by Julian Edelman in the NFL. So his first pass ever in the NFL goes for a 51-yard touchdown in the divisional round of the playoffs. So what a play. And again, Bill Belichick shows his coaching prowess. So now the Ravens would take over on their own 16 after the kickoff. They actually got a penalty for holding, and so that was why they were on the 16. There was a little over 4 minutes still left in the third. Then on 2nd and 8 from the 18, Joe Flacco drops back and he's intercepted by Devin McCourty. So McCourty comes down with it, and so now the Patriots would take over on the Baltimore 37 with about 3.5 left in the third. But then 3 incomplete passes would bring out the punting unit as they would go 3 and out and punt from the Baltimore 37 instead of electing to go for what would have been a 54-yard field goal. But now the Ravens would take over after the punt on their own 20 with about 3 minutes left in the quarter. And Forsett picked up 5 yards on first down, another 3 yards on second down. That brought up 3rd and 2 from the Baltimore 28, and Joe Flacco was sacked by Jamie Collins. He dropped him for a 15-yard loss. He forced the fumble, and he recovered it right there on the 2-yard line. But then, wait a minute, there was a bogus penalty against the defense for holding, as the referees were calling bogus penalties against the Patriots all game long. For some reason, I don't know why. But anyway, first down. Instead of it being Patriots 1st and goal on the 2, it was a first down for the Ravens for basically because the ref just felt like it. And so now it's 1st and 10 on the Baltimore 33. Forsett ran for 6 yards, and then he ran for another 5 yards. Now it's first down on the 44. Now they give it to Tristan. He picked up 3 yards and brought the third quarter to a close at the Baltimore 47. So after 3 quarters of play, the score was tied up at 28 between the Ravens and the Patriots. So now to begin the fourth quarter, the Ravens had the ball on their own 47. It was 2nd and 7. Forsett picked up 8 yards on the ground. It was now first down in New England territory at the 45. They were then faced with a 2nd and 7, and Flacco hit Juszczyk for a 6-yard pass, and now it's 3rd and 1, and an incomplete pass would bring up 4th down. And on 4th and 1 from the New England 25, they elected to go for it. And on 4th down, on the New England 35, and Flacco hit Juszczyk. He picked up 11 yards, and he fumbled the ball out of bounds. And so now it was a first down on the New England 25 for the Ravens. They gave it to Forsett. He picked up 6 yards, and on 2nd and 4 from the 19, Forsett picked up 10 in the first down. That made it 1st and goal on the 9. Tristan picked up a pair, then an incomplete pass, 2 incomplete passes would end up bringing up 4th down, and out came Justin Tucker to attempt a 25-yard field goal. It was up, it was good, and now the Ravens were up by 3 with the score Baltimore 31, New England 28. So now the Patriots would get the ball with 10 minutes left in the game. They had it on their own 26 after the kickoff. And on first down, Tom Brady went to Brandon LaFell. He picked up 7 yards. And that was 2nd and 3 from the 33. Brady then went to Julian Edelman. He picked up 8 yards. And that was first down on the New England 41. Brady then went to Shane Vereen. He picked up 8 yards. Then they called a fumble on the play, and it was recovered by Smith. But then after the challenge, and they looked at it, they saw that Shane Vereen was indeed down. And so now it was 2nd and 1 on the 50. And Tom Brady ended up picking up 2 yards on the QB sneak to make it a first down on the Baltimore 48. Then on 2nd and 10, after an incomplete pass, Brady went to Gronkowski. He picked up 4, and that made it 3rd and 6 from the Baltimore 44. Brady then hit Danny Amendola for a 6-yard reception, and now it was first down on the Baltimore 38. Tom Brady then went to Humano Anui. He picked up 9 yards. Now it was 2nd and 1 from the 29. Brady went to Edelman. He picked up 6. And now it was a first down on the Baltimore 23. And now the no huddle in the shotgun. Tom Brady hits Brandon LaFell for a 23-yard touchdown. It was a perfect pass. He hit him right in the breadbasket. And that touchdown pass puts Tom Brady number 1 in the all-time quarterback touchdown passing list in the postseason as he passes Joe Montana with his 46th career postseason passing touchdown. So that's the most all-time in this game. He passed Brett Favre and Joe Montana to be the number 1 quarterback in postseason history as far as touchdowns are concerned. And with that touchdown, the Patriots were now in the lead for the first time in this game, up by 4 with the score. New England 35, Baltimore 31. So now the Ravens will get the ball on their own 11 after the kickoff with about 5 minutes left, trailing by 4. Now on first down, Joe Flacco went to Justic. He picked up 11 yards in the first down at the 22. Flacco then went to Brown. He picked up 9. It was 2nd and 1 from the 31. Forsett picked up 4 on the first down at the 35. Flacco went to Campanaro. He picked up 7. Now it was 2nd and 3 at the 42, and a run for no gain, then an incomplete pass, and then both teams took timeouts as it was now 4th and 3. Baltimore wasn't sure what they were going to do, and then New England saw what they lined up with and decided to call a timeout as well. So now 4th and 3 from the 42 out of the shotgun. Joe Flacco drops back, and he had Owen Daniels for a 17-yard reception. They made a first down in New England territory at the 41 and brought this game to the 2-minute warning. Now coming out of the 2-minute warning, Flacco went to Owen Daniels for a 6-yard reception, and offsides against the Patriots would be accepted, and now would be a first down on the 36. And an incomplete pass would bring up 2nd and 5 from the 36. Out of the shotgun, Joe Flacco drops back, and he was intercepted by Harmon in the end zone. So right when it looked like the Ravens might score, the Patriots come up with the huge clutch interception as Harmon picks off Flacco, and now the Patriots would take over on their own 20 after the touchback in the end zone from the interception. There was a little over a minute 30 left on the clock, and so Tom Brady would line up the Patriots in the victory formation. He took a knee, and then he took another knee, and he took a third knee. And the Ravens did have one timeout left, and they actually waited until the third knee to use their final timeout. So they took a timeout with 14 seconds left, and now the Patriots would actually have to punt the ball as time had not expired, even though they had lined up and taken 3 knees. So they punted the ball after going 3 and out as they just took knees, and they ended up giving the ball to the Ravens, and they had it now on their own 48 after the punt with just 4 seconds left to play. So one final play, 52 yards away, down by 4, out of the shotgun. Joe Flacco drops back, he scrambles around, he airs it out all the way up to the end zone, and Devin McCourty swats it down, and the Patriots are headed to the AFC Conference Championship game. They actually don't have to head anywhere because they're hosting that game. It will be next week in Foxboro, Massachusetts on January 18th. As they will be hosting the winner of the Indianapolis Colts versus Denver Broncos game that is happening on January 11th, which will be tomorrow as I'm saying this, but as you're watching this, it might be today or might have happened yesterday, depending on when you're watching this, or maybe last week. Who knows? Or maybe it was last year, because it's quite possible you could be watching this a year from now, because it's on YouTube forever, man. But in this game, the Patriots win with the final score, New England 35, Baltimore 31. And in this game for the Patriots, Tom Brady was 33 for 50 with 367 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. And those 3 touchdowns, as I said throughout the game, he passed Brett Favre and Joe Montana to be number 1 on the all-time touchdown passing list in the postseason. And for the Ravens, Joe Flacco was 28 for 45. He had 292 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. He actually threw those 4 touchdowns, and then he threw 2 interceptions. And the leading rusher in the game was Justin Forsett. He had 24 carries for 129 yards. The leading rusher for New England was actually Bolden with just 7 yards off 3 carries. I thought that we were going to see Jonas Gray, but I guess maybe next week, not this week. Maybe they'll wait till the Super Bowl. But in this game, the leading receiver was Rob Gronkowski. The New England Patriots tight end had 7 receptions for 108 yards and a touchdown. Danny Amendola had 5 receptions for 81 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Julian Edelman had 8 receptions for 74 yards. He also threw a touchdown, his first NFL career pass, that 51-yard touchdown that he threw to Amendola. And Brandon LaFell had 5 receptions for 62 yards, including a touchdown. And Humana Wanui had 4 receptions for 43 yards. Shane Vereen had 4 receptions for 39 yards. And Bolden, who was the Patriots' leading rusher with 7 yards off 3 carries, had 1 reception for 11 yards. And for the Ravens, Torrey Smith was their leading receiver with 3 receptions for 62 yards. Steve Smith had 3 receptions for 44 yards and a touchdown. Owen Daniels, the tight end, had 4 receptions for 41 yards and a touchdown. Marlon Brown had 5 receptions for 39 yards. Campanero had 4 receptions for 39 yards. And on defense, the game's leading tackler was actually a 2-way tie between Jamie Collins of the New England Patriots and Rashawn Melvin of the Ravens. They each had 11 tackles in this game. Collins actually forced that fumble and had that sack. He didn't get credit for it, though, because of that holding penalty. So he actually didn't record a sack, even though he did. And the Patriots actually were not given credit for any sacks, although they did pressure Flacco quite a bit. C.J. Mosley had 10 tackles for the Ravens, and the Ravens actually had 2 sacks. Jernigan had 1, and Suggs and McPhee combined for 1 as well. The Patriots come up with 2 big interceptions. McCourty and Harmon each picking off Flacco in the 4th. Darryl Smith had that interception for the Ravens. Patrick Chung, who had signed a new contract with the Patriots during the week, is to avoid free agency as they shirt him up, and Bolden. He had actually a very big game covering Daniels, shutting him down, holding him just 41 yards. As it seemed like Owen Daniels kept making big plays, but he only had 41 yards, and Patrick Chung shut him down in the second half. As the Patriots defense comes up big. Hightower 8 tackles. Chung, as I said, he had 7 tackles in the game. It was all-around great effort by the New England Patriots. A great game, a classic playoff game. Both teams gave it their all. And the Ravens actually, they jumped out to that 14-point lead. The Patriots battled back. They tied the game up. The Ravens scored another 14 points, but then the Patriots came right back and tied it up right before the 4th quarter. And in the 4th quarter, going in tied up at 28, the Ravens took back the lead with the field goal, and the Patriots actually kept them out of the end zone for the first scoring drive of the game, because every other scoring drive had resulted in a touchdown thus far. And so they held them for the field goal, and then they wouldn't let them score again in the last 10 minutes of the game. And with just over 5 minutes left, Brady hits LaFell as he passes Joe Montana on the all-time touchdown passing list, as I've said many times. But that was it right there, as the Patriots come from behind with a 4th quarter victory, and they win this game. That was the first time they took the lead, as Tom Brady comes through clutch, and the Patriots defense comes up clutch as well in the 4th quarter, is where it all came down to. And the final score, New England 35, Baltimore 31.